What is up, guys? It's me, exactly, back bringing you guys a recap of everything that happened in the NBA yesterday. So let's not waste any time. Let's just get into everything that did happen yesterday. Lego. By far the biggest story of the day surrounded the Cleveland Cavaliers and the absolute meltdown that they are having. Anytime you're one of the elite teams in the NBA and you get blown out, it's not a good look. If you've already started to regress as a team, mainly on the defensive end, and you also just got blown out your last game, it's an even worse look. And on top of all that, if the team you're getting blown out by is missing their starting all-star point guard and their starting power forward and their best player only has to score 13 points, I mean, it can't get much worse of a look than that, but somehow for Cleveland, it does, because now everyone knows that LeBron James ain't happy either. This clip right here is the one that went viral in the midst of the Cavs vs Raptors game. LeBron James ripping everyone on the Cavs bench a new one. That assistant coach, or whoever he is, looked like he pointed his finger at LeBron in the middle of LeBron's speech, and LeBron straight up spazzed on the guy. To the coach's credit though, it didn't look like he backed down either, and him and LeBron kept getting into it, and that's kind of when the video cut off. But can we zoom into Dwayne Wade real quick and just look at his reaction to this the entire time? You guys know when a mom will get upset and start yelling at the kids and the dad is in the room too, and he just either doesn't want to be there or doesn't really get why the mom is so upset. Like, he's low-key on the kid's side, but he can't let that be known or else he's gonna get in trouble too. That's what I see when I look at Dwayne Wade right here. And the icing on the cake of all of this is Kyrie Irving liking the video of LeBron James yelling at his teammates on Instagram. Kyrie basically said, that right there is the reason why I left and I wanted out. But it doesn't even stop there. Throughout the entire game, you could just see how ticked off and irritated LeBron was with the players on the Cavs. There was a time in the game where he made a finger gesture stating that he wanted to blow his brains out after the Cavs messed up once again. And all of this commotion, all of this noise, of course, has people saying, well, it's official, LeBron James is leaving the Cleveland Cavaliers. Make room, Houston, here he comes. Now, even before yesterday, I don't think anyone will be surprised if LeBron James were to leave the Cleveland Cavaliers this summer. All you have to do is look at the Cavs as a team. You look at that team, you take LeBron James off it, and they most likely struggle to make the playoffs in the East. And then you look at some of the teams he could join. You look at the Rockets out west, and right now, even without LeBron James, they are the second best team in the Western Conference. So why wouldn't LeBron be tempted to join the better team? However, even though LeBron James might be upset and the Cavs aren't looking so hot right now, the one thing that I have learned and will stick to from now on is to never, not even for a second, panic about a LeBron James led team. The Cavs are struggling right now. Yes, even LeBron James said after the game yesterday that they are in a funk, and this is concerning because once again, it's with their defense. If it was just an offensive lull, there will be no need to worry at all. They would eventually snap out of that. But it's not with their offense. Every time the Cavs go on a bad streak like this, it's because of their defense. And this is where some Cavs fans say that the Cavs can afford to slack off on defense right now. Save their energy. It's only the regular season, so it doesn't matter. Why do they gotta try so hard right now when they're almost guaranteed a spot in the NBA Finals? Think about what you just said. You just said that it's okay for the Cavs not to play any defense right now because it's the regular season. What other championship level teams do you know that think it's okay to not play defense in the regular season? You don't see the Golden State Warriors out there like, you know what? It's the regular season. We don't need to play defense. You don't see the Spurs saying that. You don't see the Rockets saying that. None of the other elite teams in the NBA would ever think it's okay for them not to play defense. And of course, that's not what the Cavs are doing. They're not saying, you know what, we're not going to play defense because we need to save our energy. The Cavs aren't going to do that. No team in the NBA is going to consciously not play defense. When you're playing bad defense like the Cavs have been playing, it builds bad habits. And that's why this keeps happening to the Cavs. Cavs because they have bad defensive habits as a team. And I am 100% sure that at some point they will snap out of it, start playing defense, and look like an elite team in the NBA again. It's only a matter of time at this point. But unless they break the bad habit right now, they will continue to have times like this where they regress, where they once again stop playing defense. And that's what they need to fix more than anything right now. They need to make it so every single game they bring the same defensive intensity. Because if they get to the finals and play against the Golden State Warriors, they can have no bad defensive habits at all. If you don't play your absolute best, some of the best defense that you are capable of playing against the Warriors, you do not stand a chance, and ultimately, that's going to be what decides if LeBron James stays with the Cavs or not. I'm curious to know what you guys think about this though. Let me know down in the comment section below. Moving on to some quick updates about some trade rumors that are coming out in the NBA. We got a little update on the Nikola Mirotic situation. Now, Nikola Mirotic is one of the names that is guaranteed to be traded by the NBA trade deadline. And it looks like maybe there is already a deal in place that just can't be executed yet. Nikola Mirotic can't legally be traded until January 15th, a couple days from now. And I think the Jazz and the Bulls might have some sort of trade in place for when that day comes that he can officially be traded. Rumors suggested a possible Derek Favors for Nikola Mirotic swap. And I think Nikola Mirotic knows that he is going to Utah because he just followed a couple of interesting accounts on Twitter. First of all, he followed Donovan Mitchell. Now, this one you can write off like, oh, he's just a fan of Donovan Mitchell's game. That really doesn't mean anything. All right, you can have that even though that's clearly not what it is. But the other one, he followed the freaking Salt Lake City Tribune. Who would randomly just follow the Salt Lake City Tribune? He knows he's going to Utah. We also got reports yesterday saying that the Pistons are now accepting and making offers around Stanley Johnson. They say teams have also been aggressively pursuing the rookie Luke Kennard, but to any team that's hoping to get your hands on Luke Kennard, you can kick rocks and blow bubbles. He ain't going nowhere. Stanley Johnson, though, is still a young player with upside. He's a great defender right now already. It's just his offensive game that still needs work, and I think he could improve upon it if he was in a situation that would allow him more offensive freedom. That's something he hasn't had with the Pistons since being drafted, so he hasn't gotten to show or prove what he might be able to do. As a Pistons fan, I have seen brief flashes of what he could be, but he just isn't going to get that opportunity here. So if the Pistons do make a trade, I pretty much come to accept at this point that he will more than likely be a piece of that trade. The Lakers have apparently also made for Larry Nance Jr. available in trade talks. Over the summer, he was considered off limits since the Lakers view him as such a great team for his player, and he is, but I guess with their inability to find new homes for Julius Randle and Jordan Clarkson, as well as their desperate need to create cap space for their plans for this upcoming offseason, they are just looking to use Nance as sort of a deal sweetener to package with either of those guys. The Raptors said they have been getting non-stop calls regarding some of the young players that they have. Guys like OG Anunoby, Pascal Siakam, Van Fleet, Podol. Basically all the young guys who have been key contributors for the Raptors so far. And it'll be interesting to see if anything comes from that. I can imagine that OG is off limits, but maybe if the offer is right and the Raptors could land a difference maker, they might consider parting ways with at least one of the other guys. That wraps up all the trade deadline updates though. Things are only gonna start to spice up in that category in the coming weeks, so make sure to stay tuned so you don't miss out on anything. But now let's take a look at the rest of the games that went down yesterday. The Celtics and the Sixers had a matinee game all the way in London, and the Sixers had the early jump on Boston, let them bay as many as 22 points in the first half, but the Celtics started to chip away at that lead late in the second quarter, and then right when the third quarter started, the lead was pretty much completely gone and they started to build one of their own. Things really heated up in this one though when Marcus Morris collided into Ben Simmons and went to the ground. I guess he felt Simmons gave more contact than was necessary, so he got up and charged at Ben Simmons. Simmons seemed kind of confused as to what was going on as Boston and Philly players tried to hold Morris back. And some people were saying that Ben Simmons is scared to fight because of this, but that's not really what I saw. I just don't think he or anyone else really knew what the big deal was. Morris took exception to something that wasn't that big of a deal at all. Celtics come back though and get the 114-103 win in the end. Jaylen Brown with 21 points, Irving with 20.7 assists and 6 rebounds, while Marcus Morris had 19 off the bench. As the season goes on, you start to hear less and less criticism of Lonzo Ball. His shot is slowly starting to fall, and everything else he has been doing has still been great. I'm just calling it like it is. As an all-around player, Lonzo Ball has been great. He led the Lakers to their 3rd straight win yesterday, 93-81 over the Spurs. He had 18 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists, and 4 steals. His defense is probably the thing that surprised me the most this year. He knows how to play the passing lanes, and his size helps him get blocks on smaller guards. Ingram also played well for LA with 26 points. Lastly, we got the Kings versus the Clippers. Milos Teodosic and Blake Griffin both returned for the Clippers, but once again, true to the curse, if someone comes back, someone else has gotta go. And DeAndre Jordan has magically avoided the Clippers' curse his entire career up until this point, but that changed yesterday. He went down in the 2nd quarter and wouldn't return with what the Clippers say is a sprained ankle. It's really crazy how they just can't keep everyone healthy. Lou Williams though did it again yesterday as he followed up his 50-point game by dropping 30 points and 6 assists in the 121-115 win. That wraps up all the action from last night though. You guys know vote for the player of the day by clicking this little card thing right here. Just remember though, the only players whose team won are eligible to win player of the day. And yesterday, the player of the day was Lou Williams and his 50 points and 7 assists. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to smack that like button and subscribe to the channel to join the quest to 200,000 subscribers and a hashtag a million a year, as well as to stay up to date with everything that goes on in the NBA on a daily basis. But until tomorrow, keep getting the buckets, Team SGC, and I'm out of here. Peace!